Lenny Kravitz finally speaks out about his friendship with Jason Momoa, ending years of rumors about their close relationship. The musician said, "I can't keep this secret anymore," and what he revealed was unexpectedly personal and changed how we see Momoa. Why did Kravitz keep this a secret for so long? The truth behind their friendship is more than just another Hollywood story. It's something much more shocking. Let's dive into the revelation that has everyone shocked. Speaking out about Jason Momoa, Lenny Kravitz, is shocking the movie industry. It has always seemed too good to be true that two guys who are both close to Lisa Bonet could have had such an easy friendship. For years, fans have praised their friendship, but there was something much more complicated going on behind the scenes. Kravitz has now spoken, and the revelation is more shocking than anyone could have imagined. For years, many people thought their friendship was just an act of maturity, a model of how to be a man. People thought that Kravitz and Momoa had always been friendly after seeing them hang out, celebrate each other's birthdays, and show mutual respect. But that wasn't true. At first, Kravitz didn't know what to think of Momoa because he saw his larger than life presence, untamed energy, and undeniable charm. He wondered if they could really leave together. In the end, it wasn't just about getting along, it was about accepting that Momoa had taken on the role Kravitz used to play in his ex-wife's life. Kravitz now admits that there was one moment when he saw Momoa in a way he had never seen him before. It wasn't for the cameras, it wasn't on social media, and it wasn't in public. The two of them were alone and talking when Momoa said something so personal and surprising that Kravitz couldn't look at him the same way again. This wasn't just a man playing his part in the family. Kravitz wasn't ready for this person's depth, sensitivity, and since then, most people have only known Momoa as an action star, warrior, and explorer who seems larger than life. Kravitz, on the other hand, found out that Momoa had a side that the public had never really seen. There was something raw behind the charm and confidence, and when Momoa revealed it, everything changed between them in an instant. The hesitation, questions, and quiet distance all went away. That moment changed their relationship forever. Kravitz no longer just saw Momoa as Lisa Bonet's new boyfriend. After that day, he saw Momoa as a brother, and not just in the casual way that news spreads. His view of Momoa was based on who he really was as a person, not just as an actor or a partner. After that, everything changed and they became more than just friends. Why did Kravitz keep quiet about this for so long? Why did they let everyone think that their friendship was natural and easy from the start? As it turns out, some topics are just too sensitive to touch on lightly. Kravitz has always kept to himself, preferring to let his actions speak for themselves. He thought that his relationship with Momoa didn't need an explanation, so he never felt the need to do so. Lisa knew the truth, and so did their relatives. However, things have changed. After years of keeping the story behind closed doors, Kravitz is now ready to tell the public what happened. In addition to their friendship, Kravitz showed things about Jason Momoa that no one else had seen. It was an unspoken truth that had been waiting for the right time to come out. What Kravitz did was shocking and unexpected, and it changed everything we thought we knew about Momoa. It wasn't just two guys getting along for the sake of their families. It was about something much deeper and more personal. And it's clear that this is the story is just getting started because Kravitz keeps giving out more details. If you thought you knew how Kravitz and Mima got along, get ready to see things very differently. The truth is more shocking than anyone could have imagined. The world has only just started to look into this story, but now that Kravitz is ready to go public, the whole picture is starting to take shape, and everyone will be amazed by what he has to say next. The Lisa Bonet connection. Lisa Bonet was the questionable link between Lenny Kravitz and Mima Momoa was more than just a common friend or a former romantic partner. She was the center of their unique blended family. However, few people know the complicated feelings that went along with their seemingly perfect relationship, even though everyone loved it. In Lisa's past, Kravitz was the man she had a life, a marriage, and a daughter. In her present and future, Momoa was her husband and the father of her youngest children. Most ex-partners find it hard to keep a friendly relationship going, let alone start a new one. Kravitz and Momoa were friends, but Kravitz and Momoa were different, or at least that's what the public thought. The romance between Kravitz and Lisa has been the subject of Hollywood mythology. They were young, disobedient, and clearly in love. But love wasn't enough to keep them together, even though they were friendly. Their breakup hurt, and Kravitz never stopped talking about how much he respected Lisa. "She is a part of my life that will never leave me," he said. "I am what I am because of our experience." This meant that there was an underlying change when Jason Momoa came into the picture. Momoa was tall and sure of himself, ready to love Lisa in a way that Kravitz could no longer. Even though Kravitz had moved on, he had strange feelings as he saw another guy take on the roles of husband and parent. Kravitz and Lisa co-parented their daughter Zoe for years with ease, keeping a loving and supportive relationship the whole time. But when Mima arrived, everything changed. Lisa's friend, Momoa, was brave, while Kravitz was reserved. Momoa embraced love with unbridled enthusiasm, while Kravitz used subtlety to do so. All of a sudden, Kravitz was managing a new relationship with the guy who had taken on a major role in his daughter's life, rather than just co-parenting. With Lisa, to his credit, Momoa never tried to get rid of Kravitz. Instead, he made sure everyone knew how much they loved each other by welcoming Kravitz as family. In interviews, Kravitz called him brother, but he had to face the truth about his role in the changing family behind the scenes. Was he really Momoa's friend? Was it possible to fully embrace the man who had taken his place? As the mediator, Lisa made it clear that their family wasn't meant to be split up between the past and the present. Instead of competition, she wanted unity. She believed that love was more than labels and that relationships didn't have to end because people changed. Kravitz slowly let down his guard, and he became a part of Lisa's life with Momoa, not just Lisa's life with Zoe. On the surface, the tension decreased as he shared inside jokes and joined their family get-togethers, but Kravitz had deep-seated doubts about Momoa that would not go away until a major event completely erased them. Initially, Lenny Kravitz and Jason Momoa seemed to share nothing more than Lisa Bonet. At first glance, he was a rock star who was cool and intense, while in the other, he was a huge, tall man who caught everyone's eye as soon as he walked into a room. Many people didn't know this, but these two guys really liked the same things: music, motorcycles, adventure, and the idea of living life on their own terms. Their relationship was based on respecting each other's way of life, not just family. When people talked about their relationships, motorcycles and Kravitz's love of the open road, and his ability to disappear for days on his custom-built chopper, seeking comfort in the solitude of the ride and the scream of the engine. Momoa showed his love in a braver, more dangerous way because of his crazy energy, while Kravitz rode with a reflective mind. He was the type of man who thrived on excitement, pushing the limits of speed and control. On a road trip that neither of them had planned, they had their first real bonding experience. Kravitz had been working on music nearby while Momoa had been filming. Before Kravitz could really think about it, a mutual friend casually suggested that they travel together. Soon he was driving next to Momoa on an empty stretch of highway. Two guys who had never met before were suddenly traveling together on the open road, which was a challenge, and Kravitz saw something in Momoa that made sense to him for the first time. He was more than just a loud, crazy person. He loved freedom and lived for the unexpected and uncontrollable. They both loved adventure, so from that day on, they pushed each other out of their comfort zones, traveled together, and went to faraway places. While Kravitz was always methodical and exact, Momoa learned to welcome the spontaneity that Kravitz brought to every encounter. Momoa was impressed by Kravitz's depth and ability to turn even the most ordinary situations into something meaningful. However, their love wasn't limited to bikes, which was another surprising connection between their cultures. As a Grammy-winning performer with years of experience, Kravitz was surprised to see how much Momoa loved the performing arts. Momoa wasn't just a casual fan. He had a deep appreciation for the pure power of music and its ability to evoke strong emotions and tell stories without words. Momoa drummed out beats while Kravitz lost himself in the rhythm of his guitar, and late nights turned into jam sessions where they could understand each other in a way that words could never express. Kravitz was getting closer, but he still had some questions. He had read people all his life and knew more about them than the outside world could see. Also, there was something about Momoa that didn't quite match up, something hidden behind his wild energy and laughter. It wasn't a trust issue, but an underlying feeling that the story wasn't quite complete. After a long day of riding and testing their limits on dangerous trails, a late night talk outside under the stars was the turning point. Mountain Roots Kravitz finally brought up the issue that had been bothering him for years. As they sat by the fire, the flames cast flickering shadows across Mima's face as he asked, "What's your real story, man?" Momoa didn't answer with a joke or a smug smile for the first time. Instead, he paused, and in that hesitancy, Kravitz sensed the weight of something that hadn't been said for too long. Mima's revelation that night would change Kravitz's view of everything later, when the puzzles came together and the shocking truth of people saw that Lenny Kravitz and Jason Momoa had made something special. An unbreakable link between a Hollywood action hero and a rock musician. Two men who loved the same woman but were separated by it. Their chemistry was adored by the internet, which praised every moment they spent together, whether Momoa genuinely called Kravitz his brother or Kravitz sent her heartfelt birthday wishes. Their relationship seemed to be a model of maturity, respect, and unconditional love. But things were never as easy as they seemed behind closed doors. For years, the media made their relationship seem almost too good to be true. An ex-husband and current husband living together peacefully amazed fans. News outlets praised them for reinventing brotherhood and manhood. What most people didn't know, though, was that tension, conflicts, and feelings that neither guy was ready to face had shaped their relationship. Even though Kravitz seemed calm, he had moments of doubt. Having to deal with another man moving into his home was a difficult reality that he had to deal with. Even though he admired Momoa, he sometimes felt disconnected from the life he had built with Lisa Bonet. For Momoa, the pressure was different. He loved Kravitz, but he knew that unresolved feelings still lingered beneath their relationship. He knew that Kravitz's past with Lisa, the love they shared, and their daughter, whom they raised together, would always be remembered, even if they shared social media posts or stories. He couldn't deny the weight of the unspoken feelings that flowed between him and Kravitz, but he also didn't want to replace Kravitz. There were also rumors of rivalry and underlying competitiveness that neither guy would ever admit. Several tabloids said that Kravitz and Momoa were only acting out their relationship for the cameras. Others thought that their relationship was more complicated than either of them admitted, that there was something hiding behind the brotherly hugs and smiles that was just waiting to come out. The rumors weren't completely false either. Something remained unspoken after years of friendship and understanding. An unacknowledged truth lingered, and as time went on, the moment of revelation drew closer. Even though neither man had talked about it in public for years, Kravitz had kept his thoughts to himself, respecting the limits of the relationship. He had been dealing with something since the beginning that he had never talked about. The truth had been waiting in the background, waiting for the right time to come out. When it did, it would not only surprise everyone, it would completely change the world. Lenny Kravitz and Jason Momoa have been sending cryptic messages and hints for years that there was more going on beneath their seemingly perfect friendship. Fans were too interested in the touching tale of two guys going against expectations and building an unbreakable relationship to pay attention at the time. But looking back, the signs were always there. Kravitz would pause a bit before answering specific questions about Momoa, even though he usually has a laid-back attitude, and Momoa would sometimes stumble when talking about their relationship. These were the signs of two men being cautious with their words, as neither of them was quite ready to say, "I love you." People started to pay attention when Kravitz was asked about his relationship with Momoa during an interview. Instead of congratulating him right away, as he always did, Kravitz paused, glanced to the side, and then said, "Jason is a unique guy." The interviewer laughed it off, and Kravitz immediately complimented him, but that 2 seconds of hesitation hinted at an unspoken issue. Then there were the posts on social media where some comments seemed to carry a lot of weight. Few people asked questions, but fans always liked how openly they supported each other. Kravitz once wrote on Mima's birthday, "Another year, another adventure." "It's always a fun journey, my brother." People who looked more closely noticed the wording "an interesting ride." But most people just took it as a joke. What did that really mean? What kind of journey had they been on together? Momoa also behaved in a confusing way at times when asked about his relationship with Kravitz at a panel appearance. When asked what he meant, he just smiled and changed the subject. Kravitz, Momoa, and Lisa Bonet were all at a red carpet event when Momoa joined the family years ago. A reporter asked Kravitz what he thought of it, and after laughing, he said, "I didn't have a choice, did I?" The way he said it and the way his eyes briefly wandered to Momoa made an impression, even if it seemed like a joke. The clues were hidden in little things that were only seen in hindsight. People were spread out all over the place, and the tension was building up for something big that was bound to happen. Those who had been listening knew that both Momoa and Kravitz had been quiet for years, but the truth had been buried deep and found its way to the surface. Lenny Kravitz was finally ready to speak after years of silence. It was time for the revelation, and it would make all the difference. There were years of sneaky hints and public speculation because Momoa was married to Kravitz's ex-wife Lisa Bonet. Fans have always liked how close they were, but what happened after Momoa and Bonet split up? Would their seemingly unbreakable bond survive? Kravitz has now told the shocking and touching truth in a special interview with People. He said, "I can't keep this secret any longer." What he said next answered all of our questions. He said, "We are family," and he meant it. He broke the usual rules for relationships between ex-partners by showing that ties built on love and respect don't have to end when things change. After Bonet and Mima's divorce, Kravitz showed a stronger, unbreakable bond, which was different from what many people thought would happen: tension or distance. There was no room for doubt in Kravitz's answer. He stressed that nothing had changed the love and respect they shared. He was proud to say that Lola and Nua Wolf, the children of Bonet and Momoa, lovingly call him Uncle Lenny. Their lives were still deeply connected because they had found a way to keep the love they had created together, which made it even stronger. Kravitz's own ideas about family and love were perhaps the most surprising thing he had learned. He thought about how he had learned that partnerships don't always end in anger from his own 1993 relationship. After Kravitz's divorce from Bonet, he made it clear that love doesn't leave you. It just needs to find a new way to flow into a new life. This realization showed that their unique connection wasn't just a coincidence, it was a choice. Kravitz's message was that a strong family isn't limited by social norms or traditional roles. It's shaped by the choices we make, the love we foster, and the work we do to keep deep connections. The couple's ability to get along was more impressive than the fight or breakup that many people thought they would have. They had been building a deeper understanding of family for years, starting with a private confession Momoa made to Kravitz when they were alone. That moment, in a rare moment of vulnerability, was what made their relationship work. Momoa didn't just see Kravitz as his ex-wife, he saw him as the man who had helped shape the woman he loved. Momoa had said, "You're teaching me how to love her right." Kravitz wasn't expecting the compliment, and it hit him that Momoa had seen him as a mentor, a brother, and someone whose love had influenced his own. That was the turning point, and they never went back. They shared a love for the same person not through competition or rivalry, but through friendship and family. The news confirmed what many people had long thought: Lenny Kravitz and Jason Momoa's friendship is more than just a show. What will happen next? What does the future hold for this strange but unbreakable family now that Lenny Kravitz's discovery is out in the open? Jason Momoa and Kravitz's love and respect for each other have not only stayed the same, but seem to have grown stronger since their breakup with Lisa Bonet. Their relationship is more than just the show, it's proof of a deeper bond based on mutual respect, trust, and ideals. When Lenny Kravitz said it wasn't just words when they said "we're family," it was a promise that their bond would last no matter what happened in their lives. Momoa has also embraced this modern family dynamic, showing that their family is still as close as ever, even after the breakup. Fans may have expected separation or conflict, but instead they saw an amazing act of love that showed that family is about the people who choose to support each other, not just titles. Kravitz and Momoa have changed what it means to have a mixed family. As they move forward, Their story is a powerful example of how love, respect, and family can go beyond what people expect. Whether it's their shared interests, their love for each other, or their commitment to Lisa Bonnet and the kids, they have an unbreakable bond that will last no matter what the future brings. Were you surprised by Lenny Kravitz's revelation about his relationship with Jason Momoa? Share your thoughts below. Leave your ideas below. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.